Hello and welcome to Shorts. This is the continuation of the Zeckendorf project. Last video, we have completed this phase of the project. We have printed a random binary number, which changes every time I run the program, and we have printed an array of Fibonacci numbers backward. If I run this program again, notice that this array is going to change. And again. And again. So, we're going to continue the project by deleting everything in the main method, because we only created this to double check if our other two created methods were correct. And we have found that they were. So I'm going to make a new method which is going to return an integer array, and we're going to call this criteria checker. This is going to take an argument, and we're going to call that int number of Zecks. And this number is going to determine how many Zeckendorf numbers we would like to print. So since this is a criteria checker, this is going to take the randomly generated numbers and keep on generating them until it has found one that matches the criteria for a Zeckendorf number. Now the best way to model this is with a do-while loop. So we're going to do this something while and something is true. So I'm just going to write true here for now, so that it would run. And we're going to put something here later. Now I want this to be done for 20 different numbers, from 0 to 20. So I'm going to put this into a for loop, so I will do this do while loop 20 times. So I'm going to say for int I equals 0, I is less than, and then we're going to put here number of Zecks increment I, and then I'm going to put this into the for loop by pressing Alt and page down. There we go. Now this would like a return statement to be added, so we're just going to do that. And we're going to be returning the result, which we already know is going to be an integer array. So we're going to initialize that. By saying int result equals new integer array, and we're going to return an array of length number of Zecks. Alright then, so we're going to go into our do while loop and start by creating a new random number. A random generator actually. And we're also going to make a new integer called array length and set it equal to rand.nextInt. And we're going to set rand.nextInt equals to 10. Now since we do not want this number, our array length, to be length 0, we're going to add 1 to it. And this way we get a range of from 1 to 10. No, actually, we're going to get a range from, yes, this is by itself is generating a range from 1 to 9. So plus minus is going to give us a range of 1 to 10. So we're not going to be getting zeros, and that's what we want. Then we're going to make a new integer array called fib array, and we're going to call this, set this equals to fib array maker. Now we're calling our method, which we have already created, and we're going to make a new integer array called bin array and set it equals to bin array maker method. Now we're going to initialize these up here on the top. So int fib array, and we're going to set this and then initialize it like so. The next thing we're going to do is, once we have these functions called, the two different integer arrays, we're going to add these up. So we're going to need to make a adder array which takes the added components. And it's going to be the same length as our fib array maker and our bin array maker. And we're just going to initialize this up here on the top. Next thing I'm going to do is make a for loop. I'm going to be using j because I've already used int, I. And inside our for loop, we're just going to use the adder array to add our fib and our bin arrays. No, actually we're going to multiply these, sorry. And then we're going to sum the multiplied components. So we're going to say sum equals to sum plus the adder array's j component. Now we have not yet initialized sum, so we're going to do that. We're going to go up here, we're going to say int sum, and at the beginning of each loop we're going to set sum equals to 0. Now we're missing a new keyword. Alright, so once we have done that, this loop is now adding our numbers. So we have sum, and the sum should be 1, then 2, then 3, that's what we're looking for. So once we're outside this loop, we're going to make a actually we're going to go ahead and set I not equals to sum. Now we have the criteria. I is going to be the first one, and then sum is going to be 1. And if sum is equals to I, then we're going to go on with our program. And what do we do if this is the case? This is the case that we have been looking for. We're going to create a new bind decimal variable, and we're going to set it equals to 0. Then we're going to have to initialize this here on the top. So we could use it outside our loops. Then I'm going to make a new for loop. Actually, I'm just going to copy it from here to save some time. And I'm going to set this equals to bin array dot length. This loop is going to be turning our binary array into a binary number. So that's why we're going to call this bin decimal, because we're going to be turning it into a decimal number. And the way we're going to do this is by saying bin decimal, which is a number, is equals to bin decimal times 10, and we're going to add our binary array at position j. And I just realized that I set this equals to I. This should be j, so we have to fix it here as well. That is very important, or we're going to get some crazy results. Alright, now this has finished turning our binary array into a binary number, or a decimal number actually. That's why we need the multiplier of 10. And after the for loop, all we have to do is set the result at position I equals to our newly created binary decimal number. And the reason this is going to be working is because we are actually still in the for loop, in this for loop. So as we iterate through it, it's going to fill these up, and this is going to happen 20 times because we have set number of Zecks equals to 20. Well, we have not yet done that, but we're going to do that once we are finished with this method, and we are. So now I'm going to go into our main method up here on the top, and I'm going to set the int number of Zecks equals to 20, and I'm going to initialize int result. And now this method is already done. We're just going to create a way to call it. So we're going to make this result variable, which is a array actually, and we're going to set it equals to this method. So this method could return our integer array, and since it can't return an entire integer array to print it for us, we need to make a for loop which is going to print it for us. So I'm going to just steal another for loop. I'm going to set it here. I'm going to clean it. Set this equals to number of Zecks, which is going to be 20. So this is going to run 20 times. It's going to iterate through our entire array that we're getting back called result. And inside I'm going to say system.out, and we're going to print result at each position j. And then I'm going to concatenate and add I'm just going to add a tab here and add I, so we would know which, actually j, so we'll be also getting at which position we are at. And now I'm going to run this. And it's not running. I'm going to pause the video and get back when I find out what's the problem. Alright, I'm back. Actually, the problem is pretty trivial. This 0 here actually has to be a 1. And so now we're going to run it. And there we have it. these are numbers, and if you're going to add these